The date is October 28th, 312, and you are a soldier marching along with Eastern Emperor Constantine I towards Milvian Bridge. As you get towards the bridge, you notice a lightning bolt, and you think it's Jupiter, the king of gods, punishing somebody. However, Constantine has a revelation about a vision he had the night before. After the battle is won and you have defeated Maxentius's army, Constantine gives his victory speech. He gives the victory speech in appreciation to a god that is not of your religion, but a god of the religion that you have been born and taught is the root of all of Rome's problems. How would that make you feel? To understand how Roman religion shaped the Roman Empire, you got to look at three characteristics. One, how the Etruscans and the Greeks influenced early religion. Then, the development of the gods and how they affected human and the natural world. And finally, the exception and conversion to an outlaw religion. First, let's talk about the beliefs and influences. Now, Romans had many influences throughout the years, or throughout their beginnings, of gods and goddesses. However, no one quite influences them as much as the Greeks. The Greeks taught their gods to become more created Roman gods to be more anthropomorphic, meaning that they gave them more human-like characteristics such as jealousy, hate, and love. Now, with the worship of these gods, each city created their own adoption of one, and they committed rituals. However, these rituals were held on altars such as these. Now, not every altar looks the same, much like this one, but however, how the ritual started was they would take a man, woman, or child, or an animal, slit their throats, and donate them to the gods. Now, the gods did receive, if the gods found it, beneficial and liked the blessing, they would bestow a blessing onto the people below. Now, Romans used rituals a lot. They used them primarily to get something they wanted, but they would also use them before and after battle, before battle. If the ritual if they did not receive the blessing they wanted to, they would not go to war. And the worship to these gods was done outside the temple. Once the temple was built, it was the house of the gods, and no one was allowed to enter. Next is a more elaborate look into the gods and the goddesses. First, we'll start with Jupiter, who is Neptune, or who is the king of gods, and his two brothers, Neptune, the god of sea, and Pluto, the god of the underworld. Then we'll take a look at his wife, Juno, who is the goddess of childbirth and fertility, and their daughter, Minerva, the goddess of commerce and knowledge, as well as their son, Mars, the god of war. These gods themselves, these six gods, were a major part of everyday life, because Rome was either always constantly invading other places, and schools, commerce, trade. When you think of everything, whenever you think of Rome, you think of knowledge, power, and wealth. However, there's a lot more gods, such as Apollo, Diana, Saturn, Venus, and Vulcan. And with the Roman gods, due to the Roman gods, all 7 out of the 8 planets in our solar system are named after them, and days of the week such as Saturn, Tuesday, and months such as June are named after them as well. And lastly, we'll look into the conflict between Jews and Christians in Rome. And Jews and Christians rejected Roman gods and were blamed for many of the problems. Rome's illnesses. Emperor Titus blamed Rome's illnesses on the Jews and destroyed Jerusalem twice, killing thousands. However, and while Nero blamed the fire of Rome on the Christians and persecuted them, as well as Diocletian constantly persecuted Jews as well, Jews but Christians as well, and Jews. And it wasn't until Emperor Constantine finally defeated the Western civilization that takes sole imperiorship, and he signed the Edict of Milan, which allowed the Christians to openly practice Christianity in Rome. And he actually wasn't a Christian at that point. He converted on his deathbed. So after going through the Roman beliefs and influences, as well as their gods and goddesses, and its impact on the region, it's easy to understand what Roman religion was all about. And the Etruscan and Greek influence and the conversion, the Etruscan and Greek influence created a religion that stuck around until Christianity converted many. Thank you.